Hello, everybody. Greetings from the Javits Center in New York. And today I am with Peter Renton, whom I consider to be the world's authority on the history of peer-to-peer lending.
Oh, you're too kind. And too kind.
Well, Peter is the founder of Lendit, the conference. I don't know if many of you still remember. What year was it that you started Lendit?
It was 2013.
Right? And today, all around us is the evolution of Lendit into Fintech Nexus, for instance. Right? And so I was looking out for Peter to ask him what happened to the peer-to-peer industry, and what is it that I see around me? Hundreds of companies selling data analytics to banks in order to be able to process the credit, but from that also the origination, the customer profiling, a lot around data.
Yes.
So give me a sense of that evolution for yourself, but also for the industry.
Right. Well, maybe we'll start with peer-to-peer lending, Sally, because that was my passion. That's what got me into fintech in the first place. I started investing my own money in 2009, and then I started writing about it in 2010, and really studying it full time, and as really an investor and an analyst in the space. And that led to the founding of Lendit in 2013. But really, what happened to peer-to-peer lending, it was that it was basically hard to scale to in this country anyway, in the US, hard to scale profitably. It just, you look at the leaders were Lending Club and Prosper. You had SoFi, and you have Upstart, and there was many others. Probably 2 dozen at one point in this country, but they weren't able to rescale relying on individual investors. What they found was that institutional investors really wanted to invest in these asset classes, especially consumer lending. The unsecured consumer loans was also some small business, and also some real estate. They're the biggest asset class that's in loans. And so these platforms found, okay, I can try to reach 5,000 individual investors, or I can get one PegSpark to commit, $100 million, and it could be much cheaper and much more of a machine than you to do that. So, and plus we have in the US, there are certain laws around what the SEC has put in place that makes it really hard for individual investors to invest in alternative asset classes like this. So this became a difficult proposition. So all the peer-to-peer lenders, really
Did it
evolved,
right? And what was it?
Into really what they call marketplace lending, which is a marketplace of either banks, credit funds of some sort, hedge funds, pension funds, endowments, all different types of large investors that all would come into this asset class. So the consumer credit, it's a fantastic asset class. It's predictable and has a good return, and it doesn't have a lot of volatility. So it's nice to invest personally. Prosper still has kept their peer-to-peer lending platform going. It's not a major part of their business anymore, but so I still do invest every day. I invest in peer-to-peer lending still.
Right. Now, I mean, in a country like the US or UK, which is already fully banked, a peer-to-peer lender is scraping the bottom of the barrel, right? And therefore the credit profiles were expensive. They were small. They were peripheral to whatever the P2P lenders could do, the banks could do better. And then they were also in China.
Yes, you were. That was the peer-to-peer lending capital of the world.
Yeah.
For a while in the 2010s, we had 5 events in China from 2014 to 2018, and what an exciting...
Yeah, what I would say, all my good friends were your good friends too.
Yes. Yes, indeed, and the scale that some of the Chinese platforms were at was astounding, and that really, the reason it didn't work there was more of it from government intervention, but so the China proved they actually could make money in this way with central regulations in place. Unfortunately, it became impossible for the platforms to really continue, and we pulled out of China in 2019.
And then there was fraud, and a lot of fraud. Yeah. Now, so what has your business become? Who are these? Hundreds of vendors here. I mean, you're just as successful as you were when you were running Lendit. So what is Fintech Nexus now?
So, well, let me just tell you how we sort of evolved. Well, what happened was, back in 2016, 2017, we saw some of these original peer-to-peer lenders, like SoFi, in the UK, like Zopa, that were moving into other areas of fintech. Like SoFi, where they added savings and investments, stock trading. They added all kinds of things, and we felt like we need to go where the future is for lending platforms. And so we said, let's move beyond just focusing on lending to other areas of fintech. And that sort of began. So it became blended fintech. And then last year, in 2022, we rebranded from blended fintech to Fintech Nexus, really branding ourselves for all of fintech. Now lending, look around here, a lot of lending platforms, a lot of lending solutions that are here. So it's still a very strong suit for us. But we also now encompass payments and wealth tech and all sorts of areas of things.
Actually, if you ask me to profile all the vendors who are here, I would call them data vendors.
There's a lot of
and the data
is hot.
Slice and dice in whichever way possible. Just about every other speaker at the conferences were talking about machine learning. Yes. Although their customer base is so small, I put in a question saying, are you sure that this can't be solved with an Excel sheet? But it seems to be the fad of the age.
Yeah, it is. Like, ChatGPT has sort of brought this awareness of AI into fintech like nothing else ever has. Now, keep in mind, companies like Upstart have been doing AI. But we had a session in 2014 talking about alternative underwriting methods, and that's where we were introduced to AI in underwriting. So that was 9 years ago. So for a lot of the fintech lenders, they've been doing AI for a while, but the whole ChatGPT phrase has everybody's imagination going about, well, what can AI bring, not just to underwriting, but to marketing, to customer acquisition, to the financial sort of back office. There's all kinds of areas that people are interested in right now.
Actually, Peter, I consider this as work in progress. I consider that this cohort of vendors are going to evolve even more because the data that they are dealing with today is telling them something other than lending, other than something about lending. How financial services will evolve will depend on how they read the data. Right now, all of these vendors are saying to their bank clients that we can help you lend better, we can help you profile exactly the same customers selling exactly the same product. But the data might well be telling them something else.
Sure.
And I think it's worth attending your conference for a few more years yet, because that's going to impact.
We are, when it comes to AI and data science, I feel like we're at the top of the first inning. We are very, very early days, and I don't think there's going to be, my philosophy is that we really are going to see massive shifts, but it's not going to happen next year or even the year after, but it's going to happen over the next decade, where AI is going to enter into financial services in all kinds of different ways. But we can't even really imagine what that will look like yet.
And Peter, you're my go-to man. Okay, so all the best in what you've created and where you're taking it.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel. Really appreciate it.
Take care.